Question 18c. The manager decides to close the shop on one day each week. Use the graph to decide which day she should close. Give a reason for your answer. I think it's quite logical to assume that the shop would be closed on the day where it makes the least money. If we look at your previous page, which I've copied to the bottom left corner here, you should just look from your previous answers to see which day makes the least money. According to this would be Wednesday. So it's a very logical answer to say that Wednesday would be the day to close. And this was purely because it makes the least profit in total. Over the 2-week period is probably quite important to mention here. You could quite happily say Monday, as this has had quite a low number here over both weeks, although on week 2 it did pick up quite nicely. It did have its lowest amount on Monday. You may also argue that Thursday was quite low on both days, but on Wednesday you'll realise that both values were really low at the bottom of the dip, and the numbers back it up with only £250 made. Question 18d. Ruby says about the graph that Friday week 1 is 6 large squares high. Friday week 2 is 3 large squares high. So the profit on Friday week 1 is double Friday week 2. Is she correct? Give a reason for your answer. Now, if this graph was completely fair, then that would be accurate to say it's double the number of squares. However, look very closely at the profit scale. This little zigzag here shows that numbers are missing and that first square represents 100, and then each square after it only represents 20. The first £100 profit here have been missed out. So technically, Friday on week 2, instead of being 3 squares high, would actually end up being 7 squares high. For week 1, however, then that would be 10, which is not double. So is she correct? No, she's not. And the main reason for this is the graph does not start. The graph does not start at £0 profit. So week 1 is not double. You could also use the numbers to back this up. So in week 1, we said that being the highest number was 200. But week 2 was 140. So your numbers also back up that it's not double. Should be enough to give you 2 marks.